With this new battle version 2.7, a lot of you guys are struggling to play PvP. It's almost as if all your skill has been reset to 0. But with this video, I'm gonna help you out so you guys can counter every type of playstyle that you are scared of in PvP. It's a lot easier than you think, and it's mostly mental warfare that you're going through, and you guys will see that. Let's get into this. So throughout this video, I'm gonna be taking you to this place where you can practice certain things. So you wanna go to the summon section of the game, and you wanna pick any banner that fits your liking. Now in this case, I'm going to be using the instant transmission Goku just because he's the newest. You want to go to featured characters, and at the bottom right there's going to be a try button. If you press that button, it will take you into an arena where there'll be a Cyberman, and you can just do whatever you want trying out the characters' animations. But it's also good for just testing things out. Now I think it's good to know what has changed. It's very important to know what you're dealing with before you actually just go into PvP thinking you're going to be able to handle it. So there's only been 2 changes. Every time you float back, your vanish gauge will slightly decrease. So you can see every time I'm floating back, it decreases, but then it almost fills instantly. The change isn't even large, it's very small. So that's the first change that we want to focus on, and it's the biggest problem that people are crying about, complaining about, the one you want to know how you can work around. But there's another one where I can't show you here, but every time you hit a blast dart, if it's from long range, so not this distance and not this distance, but only when you're at long range, if you hit a blast dart, then the enemy won't be able to perfect vanish. So with that being the case, even if they do get the perfect vanish animation, you will still have an instance to dodge that attack, which makes it so that people that are passive can't just get the upper hand on you by trying to fish for perfect vanishes. Now because of that, a lot of people have just opted in to keep at mid-range, and also close range is basically futile. People are not utilizing it as much, but I will show you that it's not. But those are the changes that you need to know. The long range blast darts, you can't get perfect vanished anymore, and you can't perfect vanish people from long range. And on top of that, when you float back, your vanish is going to empty just a tiny bit, and your key as well. Now you're looking for solutions, and what I need to tell you immediately, you basically just need to rewire your brain. I don't know who's told you this, or if you've actually tried it yourself or not, or if you're just watching content and for some reason you believe this is the case. But if you actually play the game, and I know most of you don't utilize the back floating as much as you are complaining about it, but let's say you do, it's actually not that big of a difference. The difference is so minimal that most of you guys will not notice if you just play the way you do. Unless you're floating back at the last millisecond, and I do know it's an inconvenience, especially from close to mid-range. It does help out for the long-range passive players. You know, it gets them out of the way. Them guys are absolute scrubs now. But I do understand for close to mid-range, it didn't need to be there. But you just need to understand with most characters in the game, they will get their vanish back immediately. You can see how fast this in-transmission Goku gets his vanish back anyways. So if I know the enemy's gonna do something, if it's an explosive green, I can still go all the way back. I don't even need to think about my vanish, so I can preemptively do that. It fills pretty much instantly, so I can vanish if I wanted to. But obviously if it's an explosive green, you want to get to long range, so you don't want to vanish. So then you just do a hard dash back. So it's going to be this, look, float into that hard dash back, and you'll be able to escape it. You just need to preemptively do it. So the window is a lot smaller, but you shouldn't worry how people have claimed it to be the end all be all. It is not. You can get around it very easily. It's just an extra step every time you're back floating now. So don't worry about it too much. Again, with the floating, I do understand that because people are now playing at mid-range, it's a big inconvenience, because from mid-range you can still get perfect vanish, and a lot of people enter with this sidestep war where they don't want to engage. And I do understand why you wouldn't want to engage. So one of the biggest reasons would be that if you tackle, explosive green. If you do a blast darts, you get perfect vanished. If you do a strike, you get perfect vanished. And if that person vanishes you, what's the best counterplay? They get a vanish into an explosive green, and they get that benefit of getting a free combo starter. Well, I'm going to give you the quick solution right now. Very simple. And I don't know why people are not using this more, because I won almost 95% of my games. I usually win 100%, but okay, that's glaze. I usually win most of my games anyways, but I was adjusting myself. So I understand it's not the easiest to change to this. You have to adjust to the new gameplay, but it's possible. You know how you can't float back, quote unquote? You obviously can. It's still in the game. Utilize it. You know, there's no penalty for floating forward. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I know you didn't know that. You didn't know that. I know you didn't know that. But hey, I know it's mind-blowing. I know it's mind-blowing. But there's no penalty for floating forward. If you're fighting someone that's sidestep heavy, just float forward and catch them on the sidestep with a strike art. It's the easiest thing to do. Just float forward. I know that's mind-blowing. You never heard anybody say that before, but trust me, it's so easy. The second solution is actually easier than the first one, and you won't believe it, right? You won't believe it. It's gonna blow your mind. You'll be like, whoa, I did not know that. You can just float back. You know, in the distance that you go from mid-range to long range, even if they send a blast dart, you can still hit a vanish. You can still hit the vanish. Most people are so concerned about their own self, vanishing, sidestepping, spamming it at mid-range. You will have the time to go back. By the time the person even reacts to you floating back, you're already with your vanish restored because it doesn't consume that much. I don't know who's spreading these nightmare fuel that you can't float back now. You literally can. Just do it. Just do it. You're not gonna die. Most players will not react in time for it to be a threat. So now you'll be at long range as if the update didn't happen with your vanish restored, and you can make your own move. And if you're not the passive player anyways, you benefit from here because there's no perfect vanishes from doing blast darts. If the enemy does a blast dart, you get your vanish and then you can actually engage. Don't worry about floating back, just do it. I don't know why people don't. Most people don't react because all they're doing is this. They're worried about it. And if they've got an explosive green, more reason for you to get away from them anyways. Just play as normal. Now, for the end of the video, in my PvP guides, I always give a PvP gameplay, 1 or 2 games, showing that the things I've actually told you in this video work perfectly fine once you get into PvP. I'm going to be using this team here. It's just Sun Family basically with GB. I like using GB because of the green card. It doesn't really matter what team you use. I'm going to play PvP as normal and you're going to see it's going to work. Unless you're using a unit from 2018, 2019, everybody's vanish restore will pretty much go up just like that. So you can play as normal. For the green card explosive green merchants, just float forward and catch them. It's that simple, and you still have the option of pressing cards. So overall, it's gonna be all the same, but you guys will see that in my games going forward. This is amazing because he's using instant transmission Goku, which is pretty much what I want. I'm gonna start with GB, let's go, and then use Beast last.
If you're looking for a fight, I'm your guy.
That guy saw me because he hit a green card, tried to react, and I just reacted. It's literally that simple. It was very obvious that he was gonna do that. So now I'm playing freely. He didn't bring instant transmission Goku, which is interesting. But what I've noticed immediately is that his team is a Hall of Fame brick wall. I can't break through right now. Like, I was doing no damage. Are you seeing this? The defensive stats on his team are actually insane. Well, if I just play better, it's fine, you know. I'm keeping that in. We're gonna go again. I want to point out for some of the crybabies in this clip where the guy tackled me and I caught him with the strike. Let's say hypothetically he was prepared and he hit a vanish, because you know you can vanish when you hit a tackle like that. My gauge was still filled, so I could have vanished right after. So I was still fine. If you guys think these methods don't work, they work. So we're gonna play an actual game now. Hopefully it doesn't disconnect or something. I'm gonna intentionally float back, you know. This guy is so scared. Do you see how he was only concerned about sidestepping? When I tackled him, he had no other thought in mind. Quick attack, sorry. His only thought was, yeah, I need to. Like, you can just move forward. That is so optimal. So many people are frightened. Do you see how my gauge came back? And I was able to just vanish. It's so free. Alright, the timing there was bad though. I ain't gonna lie. One thing I should emphasize, I'll probably emphasize in the next part of the video. You're not absolved of skill, you know. I'm just giving you guys the options. Like, even I could make mistakes. You guys will definitely make mistakes. It's not as simple as just 1 + 1 = 2, but knowing you have the option, because I don't see players using their options, I think that's where the line gets blurred. You just need to be aware that you can do these things. and then back to applying your skill. Alright, this is something I like to do a lot. I don't recommend you guys doing this, but I rush on purpose to get Beast Gohan's gauge out, so I can use Fusing Super Vegito later or an ultimate. Ultimates are very valuable. I was kind of talking there, so I kind of sold. Broke his combo though. That's cool. He's not gonna ult though. Like, no way he does, you know? Cool thing about my boy here, he's gonna heal up. Normally, I would take the Beast Gohan kit with using Super Vegito, but I didn't really care, you know. That aggressive nature beating his ass right now. I wonder if he'll do something in time. He's so concerned about being passive, and that's gonna give me the 1-up. Yep. One left. Let's back up. I might lose this. Holy crap.
Over here.
And now I can ult for free because I used the gauge earlier. The flow of games is so smooth when you aren't binded by these imaginary walls, and the devs haven't made it so that it's the case. So just play the game. So this game here, I'm going to intentionally play passive to show you that that's still an option in the game and you can do it from long range. It's more optimal at mid range, but a lot of people fear the idea of floating back. So I'm just showing you can do that. Counterplay is the best play.
As a saying yourself, you should know exactly what will happen.
Oh, he's good.
Vegeta.
I'm happy.
So good to see you.
Yo, I didn't expect to find somebody actually using my techniques. I was just assuming that I'm gonna find scrubs. I love this game. I love. Whoa, I don't know if I've smiled this whole video. That makes this game interesting. That's good. I'm gonna still play passive though. See if I can out passive him. Whoa, he's gonna be aggressive, but I'm gonna see if I can play passive to counter his playstyle, which is aggressive. And I don't think it will work. It's gonna be very difficult for me to catch this dub. Only because I knew he was gonna tap. Let's stay long range. He must think like I don't know what I'm doing or something. Let's go back again. Good play. Do you see what I mean about playing passive here? It can still work, but this guy's super aggressive. So it's an easy counter for him. So unless I literally just go for those slime ball PVs, and you can't even PV against the blast at long range, this game's going to stink. This game's going to be a time account game. Because if I aggress him, I can easily get this game out of here. I should have let Vegito take that, but it's fine. Hey, I'm being passive. I'm being passive. I don't want to play like this. I don't want to play like this. I'm doing it for the video. I'm doing it for the video. It's for the video. It's purely for the video. Normally, you know, I would have tapped attacked him. I would even have thrown out the blue, you know. I'm literally doing it for the video. I feel like a slime ball. But that was nice. Anyways, let's see what else I can get out of this. Let me switch here.
Leave it to me.
Do you see how like the restore is still in time? You only have to wait for it though.
Over here.
If you, how do I say this? If you flipping hell, I can't sleep right now.
Make your peace.
If you vanish before you actually move back, you won't give your gauge time. So obviously you're gonna sell yourself. It's a pretty easy maneuver. I'm playing passive. I've adapted to this guy in such a short period of time. He still has Trunks and Gohan, you know. Oh, I kind of switched the aggressive playstyle here. Let me go back to... I don't know if he's realized if I'm trolling him or not. The way he plays is kind of like he wants to float forward and take advantage of it. But I'm actually not even playing seriously. He's actually a good player too. I think this game's pretty much won. I think I've proved my point as well about how you can play passive as well without worrying about the floating back. You just need to be aware of the window. A lot of people are frightened because of the small window, but it barely makes a difference with any of these new units that have come out within the last 2 years. Finally. I thought he should catch on by now, you know. I was waiting for fusing GB, honestly. Oh, he was immune to all of that. And I didn't heal as well. What a shame. Yeah, he's putting in work. Shout out Trunks and Gohan. Whoa. Okay, I can't float back the way I want to against this guy. Because he's caught onto the fact that I'm doing it intentionally. That was a terrible tap, by the way. I really want to, but I can't capitalize the way I want to. Because I've done it so many times that he's on the ball. So I'm going to have to switch my playstyle. But I really wanted to play passive the whole time. But do you see how it's still possible? It's obviously not optimal. Being aggressive or counterplaying while being aggressive is way more optimal. Hey, Trunks and Gohan are pretty good, you know. Gotcha first. I think he has Blast Armor, so I have to hit this. I didn't really want to, but works out. Yeah, let's end this, man. Overall, good game. You guys get the point. It should be very apparent, but I'm happy that guy was aggressive because it showed that you can still beat aggressive players. Just to end out the video, something I want to emphasize is just because you have these methods at your disposal and you understand that you're not barred by this update, it doesn't absolve you from being a smart player and having skill. You still need to time your attacks well, and these have been things that have been in the game. If you're scared of explosive greens because of this update, prior to that you was probably still frightened. There's going to be no difference. So you still need to catch your plays, you still need to have better timing. All your things need to line up well to get one up over the enemy. Just these methods alone won't take you to the top. You need good timing, understanding of the situation and what your player, the enemy, is playing like. Put that all together and you will win a bunch of games very easily. I appreciate you guys for watching the video. A lot of people have been complaining about this update. There's this idea that because of what they wrote, it automatically just means that the game's worse. And that is nowhere near the truth. But there is moments of concern for what the future is looking like depending on what units they drop. There obviously is better options now with explosive greens and of course the counter gauges, but those were always a threat nonetheless. There's so many arguments you could put. For example, ultras are meant to be more valuable, so they should have these things, but then if that makes the game unplayable, then it's not good. So I do see all the perspectives as well, but I'm really just pointing out the fact that it's very easy to play this game in the current state, and if you can't, honestly it's a skill issue. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name's Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.